Hello everyone, my name is Harida Rajiv, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science. So today we are going to discuss about the topic black box testing. We have already discussed what you mean by white box testing. The next testing is black box testing. So basically, black box testing is a type of software testing in which the tester is not concerned with the internal knowledge or the implementation details of the software, but rather focus on validating the functionality based on the providing specifications or requirements. In black box testing, it will be not concerned about the internal structure. It will only concerned about the background of the study. But it can be validate the functionality behind the software. But in the case of white box testing, it will be both equally find the errors of internal structure and external structure. So black box testing can be done in different ways. First one is syntax driven testing. This type of testing is applied to the system that can be syntactically represented by some languages. For example, languages can be represented by context-free language. In this, the test cases are generated so that each grammar rule is used at least once. Syntax-driven testing means in each system, the representation can be made based on the context-free language. The syntax representation means it will be represented based on the syntax. And we can also create the contents based on by applying the grammar rule. And next one is equivalence partitioning. It is often seen that many type of inputs work similarly. So instead of giving all of them separately, we can group them and test only one input of each group. The idea is to partition the input domain of the system into several equivalence classes such that each members of the class work similarly. If the test cases in one class result in some errors, other members of the class would also result in same error. Some cases there are same types of contents are reside in the case of testing. So the similar contents can be grouped into same class and each classes can be tested individually. If any errors occur in one class, then the contents inside the particular class will be giving the same errors, so that we can group the similar items into one class. And next one is identification of equivalent class. Partition any input domain into minimum of two sets, valid values and invalid values. For example, we can have a range from 0 to 100 and the valid range is 49 and the invalid range is 104, because 104 is not in the range of 0 to 100. So it is an invalid range. And next one is generating test cases. To each valid and invalid class of input, assign a unique identification number. First, you can create or assign a unique identification for each valid and invalid classes. Next, write the test cases covering all valid and invalid test cases, considering that no two individual input mask each other. After assigning the identification number, we can write a test cases for each classes and check if any classes can be masked together. And to calculate the square root of a number, the equivalence class will be a valid input. The steps are there. These are the main steps behind when you create when you create some equivalent partitioning for a particular input. The whole number which is perfect square output will be an integer. For example, if in case of calculating the square root of a number, first check the whole number which is perfectly square output will be an integer, and the entire number which is not a perfect square output will be the decimal number, and positive decimal and negative numbers and characters other than numbers. So these are the conditions we are checking if the square. These are the conditions when we can calculating the square root of a particular number. And third one is boundary value analysis. Boundary value analysis. The boundaries are very good places for errors to occur. Hence, if the test case is designed for boundary values of the input domain, then the efficiency of the testing improve and probability of the errors also increase. For example, if we have a valid range from 10 to 100, then for 10 and 100 also apart from valid and invalid inputs. That means we can have a range from 10 to 100. In this case, also 10 and 100 must be in the range of valid and invalid point. That means 10 is also valid point, 100 is an invalid point. So we can have the range from 10 to 99. We can have the valid values from 10 to 99. Next one is cause effect graphing. This technique establishes relationship between the logical input causes with corresponding action called the effect. The causes and effects are represented using Boolean graphs. Cause effect graphing means this is the relationship between the causes and effect. The relationship can be represented based on the Boolean graphs. And there are different steps inside the cause effect graphing. First one is identify the input. Next one is develop a cause effect graph and transform the graph into decision table and convert the decision table into test cases. So first we can create the input, then create the cause effect graph and convert the cause effect graph into decision table and convert the decision table into different test cases. And next one is requirement based testing. It includes validating the requirement given in the SRS documents. That means requirements can be tested based on the SRS document. And next one is compatibility testing. The test case result not only depend on the product but is also depend on the infrastructure of delivering functionality. That means compatibility test means it will not only test the deliverable product, it will also test the infrastructure of the particular product. And some parameters are generally affect the compatibility of the software. First one is processor, and next one is architecture, and the backend component and operating system. These are the component generally affect the compatibility of the software. And the black box testing types are functional testing means it determines the system software functional requirements. In functional testing, the testing can be based on the requirement software system system software functional requirements. And next one is regression testing. It ensures the newly added code is compatible with the existing code. In other words, a new software update has no impact on the functionality of the software. Regression testing that if you add any new codes into the particular software, it will not affect any other modification to that particular system, then only it can be called as regression testing. That means it ensures that the newly added code is compatible with the existing code. And next one is non-functional testing. Non-functional testing is also called NFT. This testing is non-functional testing of software. It focuses on the software performance, usability and scalability. Non-functional testing is basically known as NFT. It is mainly focused on the usability, performance and scalability of that particular software. So these are the main idea behind the black box testing. Mainly black box testing means it will only only test the background of that particular software, but it also validate the functionality of that particular software. But in the case of white box testing, it will also check the internal and external structure of that particular software. Thank you.